He's been called the Nostraddamus of elections. He's correctly predicted 9 of the last 10. I'm talking about Professor Alan Lichtman. He says his 13 keys are how he makes his predictions for the White House.
My prediction, based on the keys to the White House system, which has been right for 40 years, is that we are going to have a precedent-breaking president, that Kamala Harris will become the first woman president of the United States.
Um,
No, the New York Times is not letting me look at Florida. I guess they don't think it's a swing state.
really? I just want to give a quick pep talk to everybody out there. Everybody take a deep breath. Kamala Harris is going to win this election.
Miami-Dade just come in plus 11 for Trump.
Uh-oh, but that's still early.
That's not good.
No. 61% for Biden, 36% for Trump in
Am I doing
2020.
my math right? 25 points ahead.
Yes.
Harris is 32 points ahead.
Okay.
That's a good sign. I think she's going to win Georgia.
78%.
I'm not ready to call
All right,
Virginia.
we're
I
not.
mean, 90% confident, but that's not good enough.
No, we're not calling Virginia, folks.
I'm almost ready to call Pennsylvania, frankly.
What? You're crazy.
Based on this, but based on the differences. Remember, Biden won Pennsylvania by 80,000 votes. And
Right.
maybe it's early, maybe it'll diminish, but she's way ahead of his numbers. I'm almost ready to call Pennsylvania, to be honest with
You're
you.
nuts, dude. You're nuts.
I know I can't,
You're nuts.
but not based on the vote, but based on how far ahead she is compared to Biden.
Okay, Mark.
Maybe Trump will be equally ahead when the red counties come in. So who knows?
All right, mark this down. Somebody in the chat at 8:22 Eastern. Alan Lichtman said that he's almost ready to call Pennsylvania.
Not really.
That's
Don't take-
remarkable. That's remarkable.
What's good, coffee crew? Welcome back to the Black Coffee Podcast, the only show that brews up the news with a side of skepticism and a whole lot of weight. What? I'm your host, and today, we're diving into a steaming hot mess of election predictions gone wrong. We're talking about the so-called Nostradamus of elections, Professor Alan Lichtman. Now, this guy, Lichtman, he's got this whole keys to the White House system, right? He claims it's been right for 40 years. 40 years, that's like before some of you were even born. He uses these 13 keys to predict who's gonna win the presidency. Sounds legit, right? Well, hold your horses, or in this case, your coffee. So this year, 2024, Lichtman, in his infinite wisdom, says Kamala Harris is going to be the next president. He's so confident that he's practically measuring the White House drapes for her. He's even brushing off the 2000 election, where he was wrong by saying that it was the Florida cheated thing. Classic. Cut to election night, and our boy Alan is live streaming his reaction. Picture this. The man's got his reading glasses on, a slightly too optimistic grin plastered on his face, and he's sipping what I can only assume is the strongest coffee known to humankind. He's practically vibrating with the anticipation of a Kamala Harris victory. At first, he's like, take a deep breath everyone, Kamala's gonna win. Then the returns start coming in and things get spicy. Miami-Dade is looking good for Trump, but Lichtman's like, nah, it's early. Then he sees the numbers in Georgia and is like, oh, that's a good sign, even though some numbers already point to Trump's lead. He's ready to call Pennsylvania early, even when his own son is telling him you're nuts. I mean, the guy's oozing optimism, according to our source.
Are you worried about Michigan or not? Not yet.
But everything.
Well,
This is a real nail biter. And, leaving aside the keys, I cannot imagine why Trump has this kind of support after totally unraveling the last 2 weeks. It's
But
hard to
but like you say, that stuff doesn't matter.
know. That's why I said stepping outside the keys.
It was Trump 69.97% and Joe Biden 28.6% in Lycoming
Won
County.
by 41 points. He's
Right.
now up 26 points. I, maybe I'm dreaming,
Yeah.
but results are looking very good for Harris, I have to
Okay.
say. Underperforming, and she's overperforming, and he won the state by 80,000 votes.
Right.
I
All right.
don't see how Trump wins that state, even though the New York Times has him projected to win by 4/10 of a point, which is meaningless.
But remember, if you're a Harris supporter, she didn't need to win Georgia.
No,
What do you think happened in Georgia? How did Trump pull that off, but not Harris? Too many white voters or something, you think?
I have no idea.
Now, he's got this interesting habit of completely disregarding any news source that doesn't agree with him. He's like the New York Times. They're biased, decision desk, fake news. But when he actually looks at the data, he is still surprised when his prediction is clearly being proven wrong. The night progresses, and it's like watching a slow-motion train wreck in real time. Trump starts closing the gap, and Lichtman is in denial. He can't comprehend that Trump is making gains on Harris. He keeps saying that the state is looking good for Harris, even while the numbers are painting a different picture. He can't grasp why Trump has such support.
So 2020, Donald Trump won 53 to 45.
7 points, right? He's now up 4 points. I don't get it. Why they think Trump's going to win Pennsylvania.
I'm not worried about Pennsylvania. I think Pennsylvania's looking.
I do too. But I'm saying the New York Times gives a slight edge to Trump, and I don't understand that.
Yeah, I wouldn't read into that too much. Georgia is 79% in now, Dad. With 51% for Trump, 47% Harris.
Don't see it.
Yeah, how is it? There's only 20% of the vote left.
Yeah, I don't see it.
All right, we're calling it. Georgia's red. Sorry, folks. We're gonna have to wait a little longer for
Yeah.
Wisconsin. Uh-oh, PA just went red.
Uh-oh.
He just went up, huh?
Yeah. I think she's gonna win Michigan and PA.
Wisconsin's a toss-up.
Wisconsin, not sure. Trump is now ahead in Iowa.
Who is?
Trump with
Surprise.
49%. Should we call it?
Yep.
Don't forget 2016, 2020 at this time in the election night we were also confused about what the hell was about to happen. So,
Much margin left for Trump there.
no, Trump's maxed out.
Biggest counties are 80, 92, 84, 87, 95, 95, 71, 85.
Yeah, I think he's maxed out.
Easily she can make up 100,000 votes.
Oh yeah. No, I think she's going to win PA.
She can make them up in Philadelphia alone.
God, so many trolls donating and being like the keys are wrong. Guys, the election is you realize the election's not over, right? Just want to put that out there.
Pennsylvania's looking iffy.
You think so?
17% in. Trump is 200,000 votes ahead.
What the fudge? Don't give up on Pennsylvania yet.
Okay, maybe not.
I'm not giving up on anything. I'm just not happy.
Right. Michigan has gone red.
Wow.
I mean,
It's only 38% in, though.
38% in, yeah. 80% in Pennsylvania, and his lead grew.
It's very, very, very difficult.
Oh my goodness.
I don't get it.
The only thing that could be happening is that we're wrong about this absentee voting thing I can think of.
Yeah, as well we could be.
Talk to the people, Dad. Tell them your thoughts.
It's up 4 points in Wisconsin, 75% of the votes in.
He's up how many points?
4 points.
Hmm.
Not looking good.
Yeah.
Baldwin is losing by 2.5 points.
It's not over yet, though, Dad. It's not over
I know
yet.
it's not over. We're running out of votes.
I agree. At a certain point, the math,
The math just is the math.
yeah. I mean, hours ago, people were screaming at us not to call Georgia, but yeah, there was no math there.
There was no math.
Yeah.
We go by the math.
Yeah.
We don't go by our instincts. Don't go by our preferences. We give you it straight.
Right.
We've been way ahead of everyone.
Right.
I think I might have talked about that while you were gone.
Oh. I don't know, man. I'm starting to get nervous.
Democratic counties are pretty much in.
I'm starting to get a little nervous.
Yeah,
She needs to make up 170,000 votes.
I don't see it. The big Democratic counties are mostly in.
No, well, yeah.
I just don't see it.
This is the first moment of the night where I've lost hope a little bit.
Too. Anything in Nevada?
Nope.
Well, if she loses Pennsylvania, it doesn't
Doesn't
matter.
matter. Yeah.
You know what's going to happen if Trump wins? He's not going to serve out the term, and you'll have J.D. Vance as president.
Why don't you think he'll serve out the term?
I don't think his health will hold up for 4 years. Or he'll just be a figurehead. He's not going to actually govern. J.D. Vance will be governing
Yeah, I don't know. That's the same shit they say about Biden. I don't know.
recently. This is ahead of time.
The Harris campaign co-chair is speaking right now. They're saying, we still believe we have votes to count. We still have states that have not been called yet. We will continue overnight to fight to make sure that every vote is counted. Not a very reassuring speech.
No, to say the least.
Harris will not make any sort of address or statement tonight.
Good thing she shouldn't.
Yeah, she shouldn't. And that was it, and he's off. Yikes, dude! He made like a 5-minute, not like a 30-second speech.
A lot of people are saying we should keep up our channel, and I agree with that.
Yeah, of course.
No matter what happens.
I think she lost.
Running out of Pennsylvania, yep. It's not changing.
I hate to say that because I've been hopeful all night, but I think she lost.
One of the things that is so funny is that he keeps saying things like she's going to win Pennsylvania. First because she is so far ahead, then because she's only down by 100,000 votes, when that's a pretty big margin for a state he thought was a lock. Then his face starts to show the pain of his slowly crumbling prediction. At one point, his son has to use the restroom, and Lichtman is so dejected that he just sits in silence for a couple of minutes. It's pure, unadulterated awkwardness. Finally, reality sets in, Michigan goes red, and even Lichtman's optimism starts to fade. He says, "I don't see it," meaning he doesn't see how Harris could win, and then says, "This is the first moment where I lost hope." Then he has the nerve to say, "We go by the math, not our instincts." Dude, you've been going by pure, unadulterated hope and coffee fumes all night. He's so lost at one point that he is making doomsday predictions that Trump will not serve out his term and that J.D. Vance will be the real president. Then he seems to remember he has to make some sort of inspirational speech. So he says, "Never lose hope, never stop fighting, democracy is worth saving." It's a good sentiment, just maybe not after your prediction got completely demolished.
I'm kind of in shock right now.
Our country.
I've been hopeful this whole time.
I know you've been more hopeful than me.
I think it's gone. It's just not. There's just not enough room to make up. The math isn't there.
No, the math doesn't work. Numbers don't lie. I'm a numbers guy. You're a numbers guy. Once democracy's gone, it's almost impossible to recover.
I mean, I
Only
don't.
way
I'm holding out hope. I'm
to
hoping
recover
that
is by losing the dictators losing wars.
I'm holding out hope. I'm hoping that he serves his term and he leaves and we never have to deal with him again. But I just can't wrap my mind around how that many people can just ignore all the shit he did in 2020. I just can't wrap my
All
mind
the
around
things
it.
he said. He
It's
had
not
a
even.
total meltdown in the last 2 weeks.
It's not even. That's not even it. It's not about the things that he said. Nobody gives a shit about that, obviously, or else he would have lost.
Big. He would have lost big.
And that's why I got upset last week, because I just feel like it's this constant over and over again. Trump said this, and not enough on what he actually did.
I agree. Heard me say this 100 times. Democracy is precious, but like all precious things, it can be destroyed, and typically destroyed from within. And throughout the 21st century, democracy has been in decline everywhere around the world, and America has now fallen in step.
He might win the popular vote.
It's possible. That
Holy
would be
shit.
incredible.
Where are you seeing this?
90%, 92% in Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
The margin is now 120,000.
No, it's 215,000.
Oh, you're right.
It's gone up.
Oh my God, he's expanded it. My message to all of you is never lose hope, never stop fighting. Democracy is worth saving, and it will only be saved if we all fight for it. There are still, more than 100 million of us who still believe in democracy, even if it didn't go the way you expected tonight. Don't despair. Keep up the fight, especially you young people. The future is still in your hands. Good night. Good night.
And then, finally, our man throws in the towel. He admits that Harris lost. He's in shock, he's confused, and he is clearly a numbers guy not in tune with the mood of the country. He does say something at the end that is accurate, that democracy can be destroyed from within. Now, the question is, was Lichtman's keys to the White House system flawed? Or was his bias towards Harris so strong that he just assigned her too many keys? Or did he just have bad coffee that day? We may never know. But here's the real tea, folks. The lesson we can learn from all of this is to always approach predictions, especially political ones, with a healthy dose of skepticism. And maybe don't trust anyone who calls themselves the Nostraddamus of elections, especially if they're fueled by caffeine and wishful thinking. So that's all the time we have for today's brew. Make sure you like, subscribe, and tell us in the comments, what do you think of Lichtman's predictions? What's your go-to election night snack? And most importantly, are you having a good cup of coffee today? We'll be back next week with more hot takes and lukewarm coffee. Until then, stay caffeinated and stay skeptical.